Hi, this is Lisa Daniels, and I am presenting the second part of my assignment on organizational analysis and personal goals. So the question asks, what do you want to learn about systems thinking? I want to learn about ways in which I can be a community member and use my knowledge to support progress. That relates to school systems across the state of Alabama, nonprofit education wraparound services, community field trips and enrichment programs, as well as congressional districts. I'll start with congressional districts because that is the most organized system that can provide us with opportunities to change congressional votes and actually impact progress. If we are doing things on a congressional level, we're more likely to gain support from constituents. When you have more support for constituents, the congressman or congresswoman is more likely to listen. Next, of course, is providing those citizens, those students, with opportunities to learn together. So, looking at community field trips and enrichment programs. When a community learns together, they're able to grow and, of course, increase their quality of life, which I will talk about a little bit later on. This will include making sure that students have access, and of course, adults also have access to nonprofit education services, specifically nonprofit education wraparound services for high school students. And I would also like to look into adult continuing education services. And finally, looking at school systems. If we are looking at school systems, not in the fact that I am simply a teacher or a parent, or I have to be included in the community. But what if I want to be included in the community as a researcher, as a person who cares about the community, and as a person who wants to make sure that students have access to more curricular support? These are some things that I am thinking about as I move forward. Right now, I am currently teaching in Bessemer, Alabama. I live in Birmingham. So, what can I do to support the Birmingham students, even though I'm not a teacher or a parent in that system? How can I make sure that I'm supporting them? The next piece is how do you want to grow as you push yourself to apply systems thinking? I want to grow as a servant leader and researcher to better connect diverse communities and provide helpful opportunities to increase quality of education and quality of life. In Alabama, a lot of people like to say this, and they say this about the United States, that the most segregated hour of the day is 12 o'clock on Sunday. That's usually referring to church. But if we look at the most segregated times for our children, it is going to be between the hours of 8 and 3 and when they're in school. So there may be opportunities for schools that are quote unquote desegregated to have culturally competent time to learn about various communities, but oftentimes that's not true. And so I want to make sure that students in various schools are finding about quality of life, i.e., looking at a better school to college pipeline, understanding what support systems can be in place to help you progress. Too often, and I was a student who went to a school that was named a dropout factory. Too often, students hear the failure stories. It's time to make sure that students have access to support. And finally, of course, looking at quality of education, making sure that they have access outside of the school with supports to develop their education. It may be at the, tutoring at the local public library. It may be providing services at the local Panera or Starbucks. It may be finding an opportunity to reach out to a nonprofit whose location will be open on the weekends to provide students with Wi-Fi support. Whatever it is, that's really where I want to lead and grow as a servant leader and researcher. Next, how do you describe your learning style and needs and what you need from the instructors and the learning community? So I am a combination learner and community oriented support. Like that is something that I need. So combination as in verbal, musical, and social. I love debate. I love participating in various conversations. It helps me learn so much more. So if we talk about it or if there's a lecture and I can take notes, I will be a sponge. Next, of course, is musical. Oftentimes, if there is something that I need to remember, I'll put it in a song, or I'll actually help my students make songs about various things so they can remember. Hamilton has been such a great support in American history. I have to say that. And then finally, social. Just as I provide students with project-based learning in my classroom, I really appreciate that on the graduate/doctoral level. So providing opportunities to learn with others can really benefit me as a student. Again, of course, community oriented. So I love researching and refining key information to find answers and solutions. I may not have had that issue before or had that problem before, but maybe I found the information in a book I've read over the summer or in the past few years. I am open to learning from everyone, and I really, 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 I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. So I think, let's see if I have one more slide. Nope, that's it. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for listening to my piece, and that's it. Thank you.